call upon the stage Ambransh, our national champion, and yes, he won the humorous speech last.
I'm happy. Yeah, like Arshdeep was saying, he was going to Cloud9. I don't know what's Cloud9, but yeah, very happy after achieving this thing. And thank you. There have been so many people here in the club, like all of you, who've been telling me to get this one and more. I don't know what more will I ever be able to bring, but after bringing this, it feels like, okay, something I've brought near you, which used to me also, it used to look as a distant dream. Because what happens is when you know people from different clubs in different regions, different states, winning these things, you get the idea that, okay, this is there, and you have to achieve this, you can achieve this is achievable, people are doing it. You watch videos on YouTube and you get motivated, you get this fascination of doing this thing for yourself. But if you know somebody close who's done it, and especially when you have an emotional reputation with that person, the rapport that you share, there I think somewhere it helps more. It makes the journey easy. When you see that there's a symbol right there, that's the only reason why people have made, the idols of God even near to feel godly within themselves. So for me, it was my cousin. He once represented his club at the oration and the residence also one time. And because I knew him personally and I got to know from his feelings what he felt, and I thought I also want to do it for myself. And it was not really very hard. You've seen me coming to the club. I've been goofing around, fooling around, talking to you all, joining you all for the coffees and all. It's just that little time that I've put in making the speeches. The only thing which I think helped me winning this thing, if any of you would want to know, was the fact that I and my cousin, we sat and we discussed that what should be a humorous speech. And most of the people, when they write humorous speeches, they miss on sending out a message. They forget that it's a speech. The major component is the jokes or the punches, but I somewhere felt that it has to be a message, and I can always look upon in my, and that's what I've been doing. I've been looking upon into my life and the stupid thing that I've been doing, and there's always a speech there. And a speech which I'm very much emotionally connected, and I can duplicate that experience because I've once lived that. So if you've lived that experience, we all live crazy experiences every day. So if you've lived that experience, that crazy experience, it has affected you at some levels. Just look back and try to enact it the way it was lived then. Because the reason that you will be remembering that experience is that it's somewhere it made a dent in your memory. It has left a mark in your memory. Something happened, right? And because that thing is remembered even today, that means that potential, you still will speak to people, and they will remember you for it, or your experience. There'll be an emotional connect. So that was one thing that I learned. And resonance was amazing. Vijay Lakshmi ma'am was there. There was some other people also from the club. Sumit was there, Dushyant and Sahil, they were there. And believe me, these annual conferences of Toastmasters, they are a lot of learning. Mohammed Katani's session, World Champion of Public Speaking 2015, and he delivered a very beautiful session. And it was about winning, how to win. And I think the oration is going to be in May, 28th May, Goa, and Goa is a superb destination to get to. So he's already happy about it. So I think most of us should get to go also for collaboration, and let's see how it goes. And before that, we'll be having the club level competitions in the area, and again, we'll be so excited. And when I was there during the resonance, there were people who asked me that, what do you do? How do you prepare your speeches? How much time do you put into the preparation? And I was at some point I was actually laughing. I was like, okay, really, you want to know that? Because if you get to know what I do and you do the same, it might not just work. And honestly, for the speech, the winning speech, again, the cousin of mine, he rang me up and he said that you have to, try the humorous speech contest this year. And I was like all lost. I was busy in other things, and other things are not even worth mentioning here. So I was busy with those other things, and he rang me up and he said, "Hey, what about the speech? You were supposed to give me a speech." And I said, "Okay, 2 days." And after 2 days, he calls me and he said, "Okay, where's the speech now?" I said, "Hey, I just mailed it to you. Maybe some error with my system. I'll recheck it." And then I sat and I wrote the speech in 1 hour. I just reflected on one experience I had back there in Mumbai. I wrote the speech, I sent it to him, and he said, "It's all right. I don't think that it'll take you any farther than club level." Like, okay, maybe then we'll write another speech for the area level. And then I delivered the speech. You guys are so good to have given me the award at the area level, at the club level, and then for the area level, I was supposed to write another speech. But then my girlfriend, she was hell after my life to get to Mysore. It's a beautiful place. Let's see this, let's see that. And I thought, hey, why not? Maybe I'll get my speech there. I'll pick on some things. And I tried to. I actually tried. I forced myself into picking things. This is humorous and that is humorous. And I tried to make stories out of everything, but it wasn't working. And then I was thinking of writing a speech about writing a humorous speech. It has never worked for anybody. It has never. But then I thought, okay, if there's nothing new that is coming up, let me just get back to the previous speech and let me just do some tweaks into it and see how it helps. It did. I don't know, my delivery was not really very good at the area level, but who was present there. And he was like, "You suck, but still, this is the award for you." And the reason was, the audience was not very receptive. There were like 6 people, 6 or 7 people, and I was delivering the speech, and the punchline would come, and I would look at them, supposed to laugh. And then I would sing, and I was thinking that maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I never had a good breakfast. Maybe my voice is not really very energetic today. But somehow I just tried to, go through towards the end, and then I thought, what happened? What just happened? And then I realized the same thing happened to Deepak Lekhi too. I was like, okay, fine. People are like that. There's no fault in the company. It's very soon, when we are on the stage, it's very soon that start judging ourselves. At the moment we do that, somehow we lose that feel. That, hey, these people, they're not even happy about what I'm saying. They're not giving me the reaction that I expected. That one reaction for which you are actually talking to them. And that kills your feel. Just puts it out. But that is where you should realize and you should understand that it's irrespective of what they're getting. If you have prepared something, you cannot change it. The only thing is that you have to stay connected to the field. They might not get that feel, but thinking whether they would or not would only worsen the situation. It's only going to make it go deeper down somewhere in the abyss. So, area level somehow I managed, and then came the division level. Again, for the division level, I was like, okay, I have to pick on something. I have to pick on something. I have to pick on something. What? I don't know. There's so many things happening in the life. There's so much of nonsense and comic stuff that happens to me every day, but there wasn't any message in that. In the end, again, I had to get back with the same thing, and I looked back and I said, okay, what more I can do with this particular thing, the thing that I have in my hand? The stupid speech, the speech about, who does that, right? But then I thought, okay, then there was this one trip where I went to Manali and I bought some heavy clothes. I thought, okay, if there's anything which I've picked during these last days, which I can use in the speech, that's these clothes, stupid clothes. And most of the people in Toastmasters, they tell you that you have to suit up and dress nicely. But when I wore those clothes and I went on stage, wow, there's so many people who later complimented me, but for the first time when they saw me, they were like, why? Is he even Toastmaster? That kind of feeling. And then it was again a very crucial decision whether to repeat those clothes, which I wore at the division level, at the district or not. And I had to make it sure that have to somewhere make use of those quotes in my speech as a message. And I found that it was well going. And there's another thing. During the division level, when I delivered the speech, the end of my speech was a little insulting to the contest chair, which I never considered insulting. I never know it's not insulting. You should have some score. Understand it's humorous speech contest and be easy. And I was very adamant. So even after I delivered the speech, ended it, and I got the award at the division level, and that person was still sitting low because I called him HO2. I was so unapologetic. I didn't even go to that guy, and I was like, okay, to hell with you. But later I realized that that's something I should not do. You always get realizations because I made somebody feel bad, although I never wanted to do it. But sticking on the fact that I never wanted to do it and why you're feeling bad does not solve it. So when I was there at the division, at the district level this time, the contest chair, Mukesh, he came up to me and he said that, not just me, the contest briefing was going on, and he came up to the contestants and he said that if in case you have to insult somebody, then seek their personal permission, whether you can. And I was like, okay, who does that? It's a humorous speech contest. Isn't it obvious that we are here to make fun of people and laugh, and there's no such thing as insult? But then somewhere again I had that epiphanic moment and I thought that maybe that's what my speech is about. My speech, it was about learn in Rome, live in Rome. Whatever knowledge that you pick up at some place, it's good at that place. When you move to the next, drop that knowledge because when you drop it, you get the space to pick up the new, and that new will source you. So I listened to him and I said, okay, so if I say HO2 in the end, will you be offended? And he said, yes, I hate you. Why? It's just a speech. Why would you hate me for it? And then he said, I don't know, but I will. I don't like it, I really don't like it, and I don't like it. He said it thrice, literally said it thrice. And it was just 5 minutes before the contest, he said it. And I said, then what? How do people refer to each other in Jaffa? Because my speech, it was, again, built up with that, that end was the major component of it. I needed it. Without referring to him in the end as H.O.2, without insulting him and giving that last kick and the happy factor, in the end my speech would have been like all gibberish. So then I thought, okay, let's just see what's there in Japan. And then he told me that these localites, they refer to as rasa and this and that and something or the other. And then, the night before we were at Chokidhani, and there they were like referring to each other as Kumarsa or stuff like that. And I thought, oh, Kumarsa is good. Although later I got to know that that's not still the right thing. But I used that Kumarsa because I had just 5 minutes. I used that Kumarsa and it somewhere, and that's how I believe in somewhere. That's why I never, maybe, I don't know why I never changed the speech. Somewhere I believed in it too. But there I got more convinced with the idea. And when you are more convinced, when you have that conviction of delivering something, because you can only see the only way of transcending this gap is not by words. Words are what? They're just the means. Ultimately, we want to communicate the feeling. So till the time I'm not feeling it, I'm not convinced with that feeling, how will I ever be able to convince Arshdeep with that thing? Even when you look back down the memory lane, we all have experiences. If I ask you that what your father said to you on that particular day, you might not remember. But if I ask you one incident, when did your father, first taught you how to ride a bicycle or stuff like that, then you'll be even remembering the dialogue that he was saying because you will get connected to that feel. If you get that feel, the words will come in. It's the feel, and the words. I mean, even if you modulate, even if you use your voice or body language or anything, you know. But if you're being mechanical, it shows. And once you feel, it comes on your face. It comes, and body language also comes effortlessly. It comes naturally. So, for that one reason, because I knew that that experience of mine, it was somewhere close to me. And that moment, 5 minutes prior to the contest, the moment that I got, again, I was filled with that feeling. Okay, I believe in my message now. Before the contest, I was so determined. I was saying that, hey, I'm not here to win. I was telling my cousin also, I was telling my girlfriend also that, hey, just relax, just be easy. I've seen this speech never works that good. 5 minutes. And when people used to, Vijayalakshmi came and said, hey, you have to, and I was like, okay. And people are like, oh, you have to win, you have to win, you have to win. I'm like, okay, no pressure. I'm here just to give a speech and make people laugh. But and I knew that a message, I was actually cheating with the message, honestly. Then somewhere, call it providence, call it cosmos, call it the energies, call it the conviction, call it the wish, call it your blessings. It worked 5 minutes before. I got convinced that, okay. And I got convinced with a change, not with my own thing. That one tweak that I got. So I had a good experience, and now after the speech, I was feeling very lost. I got the award, I got the trophy, I was happy, I smiled, got a couple of pictures clicked, and then I was like, what next? Will I never be able to give a huge speech again? I knew that was not my best work. I could still write better, but then I thought that there's another way of doing it. Now I've just absorbed from you, I've not given you back. I feel. And I don't know if I have anything to give back. I might not have, but whatever little experience, then I'll be contributing to the club. I'll be trying to come early to the meetings, setting up chairs like I did today. I don't know for how long I can stick to this routine. Somewhere I feel, I don't know, when you say cloud nine,